Right, Nick Holland, Sportscar Global, and we're sitting down with Allan McNish. Hello, Allan McNish. We'll just do that bit.
Hello, collective.
Jolly good.
Should we do this on Twitter? 'Cause I seem to sort of get comments from you on Twitter quite a lot.
Yeah, I do apologise for that.
That's all right. It's the rude ones I delete.
I will keep it to a minimum. Moving on, the new R18. I think you're on record as talking to Sir Jackie on the grid at Silverstone and saying it's a challenging-looking car.
You lip reading? Is that it?
Yeah.
Because Jackie and I talk in a different language to the rest of the UK, and it's very aggressive in terms of everything. Right now, the regulations allow quite a lot of evolvement, I would say, and we've had to evolve partly because in terms of the competition, specifically with Porsche, they took a bit of a march last year. Also with the way that the regulations are for the hybrid and the categories of that, then it was clear we had to move to a higher class megajoule category. So we're going to the 6 megajoule. With the diesel, it doesn't really work going to the 8. There's not the gains, and it's actually more efficient to be in the 6 megajoule. For the petrol, it definitely is a gain to go to the 8, hence the reason that Toyota and Porsche went that way. But one of the areas where I think Audi's been very strong in the last few years is in aero. In terms of not just actual pure downforce, because now that's important, but it's not the key. It's the efficiency, so how much downforce you can have with this limited drag. And we've had to work quite hard with that in the past, and they did a very good job. All the numbers did a very good job, but I think you saw in Silverstone that it actually transmitted into track performance, which ultimately was quite nice to see, because when a car comes out and it looks aggressive, that's fine, but it's actually got to be aggressive, and we saw that in the race.
The combination of both is the best.
Well, when it wins a race, it suddenly is the most beautiful thing in the world. And it saw the checkered flag first. Ultimately, there was obviously the problem after, but the performance was there, and that was something that I think the design department should quite rightly smile about the whole.
Absolutely, and it seems to carry on the philosophy of Ultra in terms of everything you're doing, I assume, around minimising weight, etc.
Well, we have to, because inherently a diesel concept is slightly heavier in weight. And every time you go up in the megajoule class, it's one of the reasons why we weren't in a position to go higher earlier. Every time you go up in the megajoule class, then everything has to become a bit bigger and a bit heavier. And hence the reason that to then be on the minimum weight, you've got to work on everything else. So you rewind when we went, remember 11 we started with R18, then 12 we went with the hybrid. Is that right? I think so. Jeez, I'm getting old now.
I'll go with you.
I'm getting old. When we switched into the hybrid for the first time, they had to give or take 10% of the car weight out to get the hybrid in and still be on the weight limit. And so if you think a racing car and then taking 10% of body weight, of weight out of everything, and it was everywhere right the way through, and they've had to keep doing that all the way through, which is a concept that filters quite closely into the road cars, especially now. It's one of the synergies actually that they can see between the road car and the race side of things, but again we've had to do that. We had the Ultra branding on the side, but now it's just in its DNA.
So, I mean, the crunch question, I suppose, is for the racing program, is diesel still the right choice?
If you take the numbers, and that's the numbers without BOP, then yes. BOP is there to try to make an equivalency, and sometimes you would argue that it's not in your favour, but that would be the same with every manufacturer. And they are what they are. Right now we are with the diesel, and that's the plan. And I think you can see by, again, you go to see by Silverstone that it did the job.
Super. I mean, I personally find the car, yes, a challenging car to look at, but if it delivers the performance, that is tremendous.
As long as it's not challenging to drive, then we're okay.
And actually, let's a follow-up question on that. As we see the wings, the pontoons either side go forward in a spec
on the front,
yes,
and over the front wheels, yeah.
How does that impact the overall driving situation?
Nothing. I mean, in terms of the vision from the cockpit, then it doesn't, because you're actually, if you think of it, when you're sitting in the cockpit, your eye line is the highest point, not the furthest point.
Yeah.
Because as well, you don't look at the nose of the car. You come up through Eau Rouge here and you're already looking 300 metres up the road, not 1.5 metres to the end of your car. And if you're looking at the end of the car, then you're right behind someone, and doesn't it?
Too late.
Yeah,
it's already over.
No, you know where the nose of the car is.
Yeah.
You know where the splitter is, and that's the most forward frontal area.
Yeah.
So anything that's sort of up, down, left, right doesn't matter. And so for vision, the height of the wheel arch is the critical thing, because then that gives you your view line across. So it doesn't really make any difference. It's purely that design concept is for performance, and there has got to be performance coming from it, or they wouldn't have done it.
Super. Alan, thank you for the time.
No problem.
Good luck. Well, you're not driving.
That's the thing.
Good luck to the brand.
I don't have all the sweat and stripes.
Cracking picture.